I have got to be the absolute worst content creator in the history of YouTube. It's been a year almost since I posted a video, and it's not like I died. Well, maybe it is. I don't know. But the reality is, 2023, the last half of 2023. Well, yeah, the last half of 2023, we just were struggling. So. What we are working on right now, though, is I want to kind of get back into making some videos. I do this every year, so don't get your hopes up. But every year, it seems like in the the first part of the year, I start making videos, and then somewhere around June or July, I quit. And I think a lot of that's because what happens is it gets so hot around here. It's miserable to work in the garage, and what happens is I just fall behind, and then I get out of habit, and yeah, so standing right here next to the standing right here next to the 4x4 Ranchero. A lot of work has been done to this since the last time I posted anything about this. I'm not going to go into this right now, though. What we're doing today is we're working on the Jeep. There he is. So the last video I posted was about the 74 CJ, and I think since then I've put the top on it. That's a Kelly top. It had had to get some new glass for it, and all new seals for the back windows and stuff. But it works, and I like it. Certainly like it better than the soft top. But what we're working on is, well, hang on a second. Let's get you off the tripod. All right, so here we are inside, and so if you go back and watch the other video or whatever, if you watch the last video on this, what you'll know is that the fuel injection on this has got a 4-liter 6 out of a Cherokee. And it's got the AW4 transmission, automatic transmission out of the same Cherokee or a different Cherokee, it doesn't matter, same vintage type stuff. But what's going on is I didn't put, when I got it, it had a cobbled together factory system from the old Renix style, and the guy had somehow, I don't know, for lack of a better way to it, Frankensteined it with the newer Chrysler style injection. I opted for putting, let's get way down here, there he is, I don't know if you can make that out, but this box right here is a Megasquirt. We are going to go back to the factory computer. Now this is a wrecking yard computer. I don't know if it works. The other day I went down and picked up a complete wiring harness. That's the engine. I have fragments of a wiring harness from another vehicle that I cannibalized out at the wrecking yard. So there's some things I'm actually pretty optimistic that between the two sets of wiring harnesses and all, I will actually be able to it'll almost be a plug and play. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I got to figure out, and my suspicion is, just because of the way it runs and drives, my suspicion is that computer is just not tuned as well as it could be. So we're going to go with this and see if the factory computer can do a better job. And that's what I'm starting today, and that's what we're doing, and I think, let's get started. So a lot of this project is, the first thing is going to be pulling the injection system out, which is just everything. And what's really going to be fun is some of this stuff, I don't remember what it is or where it goes. So like here I've got a relay. I don't know what it does. I've got a relay over here. I don't know what it does. I got a relay over there. I know what that one does. I'm not sure what this one does. Corrosion City over here. I lived in a hostile environment. when I was out at the wrecking yard stealing the engine control harness, I didn't get the pigtail for the crankcase, crank position sensor. Anyway, so what I'll end up doing is I'll probably cannibalize off of the harness I built before the little pigtail here, which part of it is melted. What is this one saying? So I think what's happened is I've got as much, no, there's still stuff to rip out of there, but I'm getting into things where it's sort of like I don't know exactly where that system goes or what that was doing or why did I run that wire there. And so what I think I need to do now is go ahead and start hooking up the harness, finding a place to mount the computer, and start kind of reverse engineering and wiring to what I need to wire to. Anyway, what I'm doing now is I'm going to go, I think what I'm going to do now is go ahead and start cleaning up this new engine harness. Well, I don't know about cleaning it up. I'm just going to put it on. Whatever. I'm just going to start stabbing it on there and getting it connected. And then I need to find a place, a home for the computer. So I'm messing around with this, and I got this new harness. The harness I pulled out of the wrecking yard is off of a 98, and I start checking it, and the ends, none of the ends go to the sensors. So like none of them. The throttle position sensor, the step, you know, the air intake, the air temperature sensor, the coolant temperature sensor. None of them, the ones that are on the Jeep, none of them talk to the harness that I scavenged. Well, the harness, the original harness, what I scavenged before was off of a 96, I think, if I remember right. I may be wrong, but whatever it is. So I'm looking at it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that harness back out, the one I just grabbed, and I'm going to cut off the pigtails for the different connectors. I have all the connectors that fit everything except for, I don't know what. There's something I think I'm missing, but I'm not sure what it is. But anyway, yeah, that's what we're going to do, splice it all back together. So this is probably what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the evening, is splitting this. This is the loom that was on it running, that was tied into the Megasquirt. And so like, that's not, but like, here's the connector for the crankcase position sensor. It, I don't know if you can see that, but it got a little hot on the exhaust manifold. Still works, still better than none. Filthy. Anyway, all right, so it's Tuesday, and I started this little project on the Jeep on Thursday, and I now remember why I didn't do it originally. I was all excited about doing this. I figured, oh, it'll be a quick little project, no big deal. And then I remembered why I went with the Megasquirt, and it has a lot to do with Like I had said before, this Jeep it's cobbled up between different years. It's not like the guy just had one donor vehicle. It's like he had multiple donors. I'm pretty sure that the transmission and the axles and that kind of stuff are out of like around a 1989 Cherokee. The motor itself, I think it's out of a 96. And then it has, and then the sensors and stuff like that are out of a 96. And so, as I've been rewiring the wire loom that I took out of a 98, its connectors didn't work with the sensors and things that I have on the motor. I have the 96, the right connectors for it. So I've been cutting the old ones off and cutting the 98 ones off and putting the, it comes down, I think, to, there was a, 96 is a transitional year. So it goes from the OBD1 to the OBD2 about that time. And what happens is a lot of so I have all the OBD1 connectors, or rather the OBD1 sending, the temp sending units and all that kind of stuff. Now, I don't know why they changed them, because it's the exact same. The computer's the same. As far as I know, it's all the same. We may be in for a surprise. But I have all the connectors, and I've been systematically going through and redoing the harness, and and then when I got to the crank position sensor, the newer style, or the post Renix system, has 3 wires going through the trigger, through the position sensor. The Renix system just has 2. So it's a different animal. So that set off a whole chain of, I need to figure out how this works. I need to find out what goes where. So I did get the sensor. The sensor is here. And then this is where it really hit me, was that the reason I went with the Megasquirt, one of the main reasons for the Megasquirt, was the flex plate, the trigger wheel on the flex plate for the Renix. I don't remember how many, it's got like 60 little windows in it for the trigger. And then the later one, the newer Chrysler system, it only has 12. It's like 12 in 3 groups of 4. And so then I had to order that. So that flex plate should be here today. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can find a place to mount the computer, and I'm going to start figuring out my final connections, how we energize it, how we get power to and from whatever. And there's I think there's definitely 2, maybe 3 solenoids that I have to put in, because there's going to be a solenoid for the fuel pump, there's a solenoid for the computer itself, and then I think there's maybe just the starter solenoid. Oh, no, there's a solenoid. There should be a solenoid for the O2 sensor. So we're gonna I have to find a place to mount the computer, place to mount all those relays, and then So anyway, no good deed goes unpunished. So many holes in it. This is an awful lot of work to hook up a computer that I don't even know if it's any good. Right now I'm just checking to see how much too long these wires in this loom are, and whether or not I want to abbreviate all of them or just tuck them down. I think I'm probably just going to tuck them all down, but you know, just run the loom down the back. And I got this lovely little cover. So this is what the old Renix style trigger wheel on the flex plate looks like. Lots of little holes. This is the Chrysler, the HO or whatever you want to call it, the later one. So yeah, now I just gotta get that back in there. Nope. Started. This case is cracked. Somebody's smeared some sort of sealer all over this thing to keep it from leaking. It didn't work. It still leaks. All right, this little project of swapping over from the Megasquirt back to the factory injection. This is 2 weeks old now. Well, 2 weeks tomorrow. I think it's, yeah, 2 weeks tomorrow. You know, it just like anything else, it just grew and grew. I think everything is hooked up. I'm getting ready to make the final. I'm going to hook the battery back in. I'm going to have the camera running because if it lets the smoke out, we want that on. We want that on video. If I think everything is wired correctly, and it's at a point where if I hook it up and it doesn't start, I will have no idea why. We'll have to start doing some fault tracing. And as I may have said before, that's a wrecking yard computer. I don't even know if it's any good. So let's find out. The fuse is popping. All right, well, the fuel pump cycled. Well, let's see what happens. Well, there it is. It started right up. That's pretty amazeballs. I didn't expect that. I had one injector that wasn't completely plugged in, so it was missing. Had a little bit of a rough idle for a moment, but got that plugged in. Bunch of smoke coming off of it. There was a bunch of transmission fluid got dumped on the exhaust pipe. Right now, I shut it off because I still need to, the wiring harness is just a bunch of loose wires at the moment, so I'm going to pull the harness back out what I can, wrap it, get it all put back in its conduit and all that kind of stuff, clean up the wiring. But it runs. So let's just keep moving, finish it up, see maybe we can take it for a drive. It runs. Let's take a look and see what happened here. I still have a lot to I still have a lot to do. So this area here, let's start. This is my fuel pump relay, the relay for the computer, and then down here is actually a relay for backup lights. I'm not really sure why I did that originally, but I think it's because I didn't trust the transmission control unit computer to have enough to run the backup lights, even though it's supposed to. I still have a lot of tidying up to do. This still needs to be fastened to the firewall. There's where the computer got mounted. Got a little cover. Yeah, I mean, it's all here. Got a lot of wires. These still need to be bundled up and put in a conduit and cleaned up, prettied. But yeah, that's him. So my initial thought on it, compared to the Megasquirt, is that it starts a lot faster. The Megasquirt had a tendency to, you had to turn it over a couple times before it would fire and start and run. But it also seems, it definitely has better idle control. So where the Megasquirt seemed to always be seeking a place to idle, either in gear, out of gear, whatever. Sometimes it would get sometimes get kind of a runaway deal driving it. I think a lot of that has to do with the stepper motor that does the IAC, the intake air control, or idle air control, whatever it is. It's a little stepper motor, and I'm sure if I knew more about it, I'm trying to glean a whole bunch of information from a bunch of different sources to make it work. But now that we've got the factory one there, it seems to actually idle, and it seems to idle where it's supposed to. Where it even has a deal with when you put it in gear, it actually idles up, and then when you take it out of gear, it idles down. So it knows when it's going in and out of gear. It's the neutral, part of the neutral safety switch is tied to the computer, and it knows when it's in neutral or not. Other than that, everything is, I think it's done. I think as far as aside from, I still need to clean up the wires, let the car go by. Anyways, I still need to clean up the wiring, and yeah. Oh, one other thing. I think I'm going to see if I can find another. I don't want to. That was a major pain, but the flex plate I don't think is concentric. So what happens is it makes a lot of noise when you start it. The starter engaging the ring gear, it has a couple areas where it hits, where it sounds like it's really grinding hard. It may just wear in, and I'll be all right with that. I'm not that, you know, I'll be fine with that, really. But if I have to, I think that's just poor quality aftermarket parts. But if I get really sick and tired of it, maybe I'll go find a factory, an older factory one. But I think that's it. So now that that thing's back on the road, I got some jobs I can do, and we can get back to the Ranchero, which is right here. You can't see it. I'm leaning against it, but it's right here. And that orange truck thing out there, I've got some projects. I still have some stuff to do with it. I'm still waiting on the owner for that to, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, next projects are going to be the Ranchero and the F-250. And there's still some things I need to do to the Jeep, but I may not video any of that. So, till next time.